Michael, you talked a lot going into Minnesota, just sort of about the mental side of this series and how you hoped your team would use those first two games as a wake-up call, respond. Obviously, there's not quite the same easily available bulletin board material now after you win two games on the road. How do you as a coach kind of handle this situation where the series flips back locations and the conversation has kind of changed toward a this is leaning in the Nuggets' favor type of conversation?
Yeah, I mean, there was no bulletin board material. It was just reality. We're down 0-2. And if we want to get back in the series, we got to go to Minnesota and win two, which we did. And so now we've gotten home court advantage back. Now it's the best of three. And obviously the crowd will be great tonight. Excuse me. But we just got to protect our home court. You know, it's all about winning Game 5 right now. That's our focus. If you look at the series right now after 4 games, the total score is 411 to 409. Every detail matters. Every possession matters. And our discipline's really going to be tested. Obviously, you can see two very, very balanced and competitive teams going at it. And for me, the thing that jumps out is our offense. You know, in the 2 home games, we averaged 90 points a game. The 2 games in Minnesota, we averaged 116. And so our offense will be the beginning of everything for us tonight.
Coach, so often in series like this where they go deep, especially against two teams that are very familiar with each other, you see fewer and fewer adjustments that surprise the opposing team. How much about this series is, especially as you get deeper, will you try to surprise the opponent versus stick to what you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you make adjustments. Sometimes I think too much is made of the adjustments. It's not really what you're doing, it's how you do it. And to me, you look at us in Game 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4, our players had a completely different disposition about themselves. So, yes, we maybe did some different things offensively and defensively, but give our players credit because they realized what we were doing and how we were doing it wasn't the answer. And to be more physical, to be more aggressive, to win the first quarter, which we did both games in Minnesota, to play with the lead as opposed to always playing from behind. I think that's the more important thing. You can do whatever you want. You can adjust whatever you want to, but how you're doing it, I think, is much more important.
Michael, you guys were in the 0-2 hole when Joker was named MVP. Do you feel like that infused some needed positivity or maybe confidence just having that announcement out there and saying, hey, we're going to Minnesota with the MVP?
I don't really think so. I could be wrong. You know, I didn't get that sense. Obviously, I think we all shared in the history in Nikola winning his 3rd MVP, one of 9 players in NBA history to achieve that status. But Nikola will be the first to tell you, man, this time of year, it's not about the individual. It's about the collective. And that happened to coincide with us being down 2-0. But it was more about how can we as a team get back to playing at the level that we know we're capable of.
Michael, Justin doesn't play much down the stretch for you guys when usually you're tuning up for rotation. You play him in Game 1. He's obviously been terrific. 1, what was kind of the thought process on what the impact he could have on the series? And then 2, has it gone even better than you expected given his level of production and impact?
Well, we knew going into this series, at least I did, that you're facing the #1 defense in the NBA. And the way they guard us within that is you're going to have shot making on the court at all times. They have a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year that kind of roams, plays free safety, loads up on Nikola, loads up on Jamal, and you need shot makers out there to try to keep them honest. And I think Justin's done that at a very high level. He's made shots from the 3, and then defensively, being a veteran, he's so trustworthy. You know, he has great game plan discipline, personnel discipline, knows exactly what we're trying to do. And, you know, his productivity, efficiency, and discipline has been outstanding. In that last game in Minnesota, I thought the 3 guys that played off our bench were outstanding. You know, Reggie, Christian, and Justin. They were all positive. We scored 27 points, and we did so in a very efficient manner. And guys stepped up when Nikola got in foul trouble. And that was also a real positive for us.
Coach, for the 3rd time in 4 seasons, Nikola has won the MVP. So how do you think the city's culture and the team spirit match with Nikola's personality? And do you think he becomes who he is because of the year he's been in Denver with the team?
Well, yeah, I think, we're really lucky here in Denver because not only is Nikola a three-time MVP on the court, but I think the reason the people love him in Denver is because of who he is off the court. Selfless, humble. There's not many guys that have won 3 MVPs that have the humility of Nikola Jokic. And, I think for a long time Denver has been kind of considered not a major market, as we call it, a sleepy little cow town. But Nikola Jokic was overlooked. He was taken in the second round. So I think it was a perfect match for Nikola to come here and blossom into the MVP and to become one of the best players in the world. And he represents this city night in and night out, as does our team at such a high level. And that's why we have the best fans in the NBA. They appreciate that, and they come out every night and support us.
Coach, at the end of the last game, Anthony Edwards was talking to Jamal Murray, was trying to get your players to engage and trash talking. After the game was over, Jamal walked right by him. Do you talk to your players at all about not getting into it with him? He seems to feed on that type of confrontation and the trash talking.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it at all.
Last name?